On October 20th, 2021, a large volcanic explosion occurred at the Mount Aso volcano in Japan. Over the span of 8 minutes, at 11:43 a.m. local time, an explosive eruption injected particles of ash to a height of 3,500 meters or 11,482 feet. It did not take long for the eruption column to soon after collapse back to the ground, generating a series of destructive pyroclastic flows. These superheated currents destroyed all vegetation in their path, traveling at least 1.5 kilometers or 4,900 feet before they stopped. For some context, here's where the eruption originated, and here's where the video of the eruption was taken. I have overlaid a yellow circle which gives a rough outline of how far the pyroclastic flows traveled, as its edge appears to have reached a parking lot closer to the volcano. What had just occurred was one of the largest eruptions of Mount Aso in a century. I have assigned this eruption a preliminary volcanic explosivity index rating of a 3, which makes it at a minimum the largest eruption since 2016 and at a maximum the largest since 1906. Mount Aso is a complex volcano which is located in southern Japan on the island of Kyushu. It is located in the center of the overall island and lies 35 kilometers east of Kumamoto. From satellite, you likely notice an oval-shaped depression in the ground which is now filled with houses and farms. This is in fact a large caldera formed from several prehistoric supermassive eruptions. 4 ancient supermassive eruptions created this 21-kilometer long and 18-kilometer wide caldera, each of which was more than 20 times the size of the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo. The last of these large eruptions occurred 87,000 years ago, which covered areas as far away as Tokyo and ash. Luckily, despite the ongoing eruption, only moderate-sized eruptions are expected from this supervolcano. In the center of the Mount Aso volcanic complex are a series of more than a dozen vents and cinder cones which have erupted in the last 10,000 years. The eruption just witnessed originated from the same vent which created the volcano's other 95 eruptions since 1826. This vent is called Nakadake, which contains an acidic crater lake and is typically a popular tourist destination. So, how did this eruption occur? What occurred was a type of explosive eruption called a phreatomagmatic eruption caused by the interaction of groundwater and the acidic crater lake with magma. The heat from the magma chamber which underlied Mount Aso heated nearby sources of water, causing them to flash to steam. Since steam takes up a greater amount of space than its equivalent volume in liquid, it causes an immense amount of pressure to build. Eventually, this pressure becomes too great and the ground explodes upwards in a phreatic eruption. Due to the size of this phreatic eruption, small amounts of molten rock were ejected which got caught in the explosion. Despite the similarities of this eruption to the deadly eruption of Mount Ontake in 2014, no one was killed or injured by this eruption. Unknown to many, Mount Aso had already been erupting, just in a less explosive manner since October 14th. Thus, the Japanese government had already placed the volcano's alert level at 2, which roughly translates to "do not approach the volcanic crater under any circumstances." Due to this eruption, the alert level has now been changed to 3, which means simply do not approach the entire volcano. In the next several weeks to months, more phreatic explosions will occur, ejecting volumes of ash around the volcano and creating more pyroclastic flows. In all likelihood, what was just witnessed represents the largest of the explosions to be witnessed during this eruption, but we cannot be truly certain. Individual eruptions from this crater have lasted anywhere from a few hours to 16 months, so we are not sure how long this individual eruption will last. Thanks for watching. If you would like to request